Gentlemen, my name is Emeka. My name is Emeka Onuba, and on behalf of our GNC crew, our Good News Call crew, we are welcoming all of you to our webcast this evening. All right, we are a community of friends and partners from all walks of life, from different parts of the country, who come together and we work together, all right, as we pursue our quest to impact a lot of families through financial education. But we are just a subset, a very small part of a larger group of people called World System Builders, all right? And the very premise of our existence is financial literacy. We believe in financial education for all, okay? So because we have a lot to cover in very limited time, I want to jump right into it, but I do want to very quickly acknowledge our first time guests, okay? If you happen to be here for the first time, someone invited you to listen to our amazing campaign and to take a look at this career opportunity, can you just kind of use the emoji to raise your reaction, to show your hand so we know who you are? All right, again, so we can acknowledge you properly. All right. Okay, I see Omar. Welcome, Omar. Abiodun, welcome, Abiodun. And hopefully everyone else is not being shy. But let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. And as we go along, you'll learn more about me and you'll learn more about some of our colleagues who will be sharing their thoughts and their journey here with us. Okay, so let me do this. Make sure I'm sharing sound. Okay, and make sure I'm sharing screen too. Share sound, there we go. All right, share. Please give me a thumbs up, everyone, when you can see my screen. Okay, excellent. Thank you, BC. Okay, so I'm about to play you all a quick video clip. It's less than a minute long, but it'll give you an overview, high-level overview of this community that we are a part of called World System Builders, okay? The driving force, the engine behind this movement, this grassroots movement regarding financial literacy and financial education. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. The new industry on a mission for the people like you and me. One system, one team, and one dream. We are the new industry on a mission for the people like you and me. One system for the people like you and me. One system, one team, and one dream. Awesome, awesome. I can watch that video all day. You see, the platform on which we are able to execute this literacy campaign of ours is WFG, World Financial Group. And we are the fastest growing organization with world-class support and a diverse business platform that takes care of everything, provides a turnkey platform for you to get into and to build a business in financial services. So WFG is huge. However, within WFG, the driving force within our firm that has an amazing track record of helping people through a doable system is us, World System Builders, WSB. And that's what the video clip was encapsulating right there. You see, we believe in financial literacy. And the reason why is because we need change. It's time to build a whole new industry. We recognize that the financial services industry has been around a long time, right? A long time, over 100+ years, if not 200+ years. But people are still struggling financially. Here in North America, as you will soon see, right, the picture is gloomy. According to our proprietary book, right, it's a book titled Saving Your Future that teaches basic principles of building a financial foundation. If you don't have a copy of this book, please reach out to whoever invited you and request a copy. This book, just the understanding and the application of the contents of this book alone can already change your life the way it has for many of us. But the stats will show you that our condition is dire. People are lacking financial knowledge. And as a result, they're making crucial financial decisions every day without the prerequisite knowledge. I happen to be part of the statistic 18 years ago when I started here, living paycheck to paycheck, being a broke college student, already amassing over $55,000 in debt by the time I was 24.5 years old, graduating from University of Houston with an engineering degree and a minor in math. And as you see on my screen, nearly half of Americans between the ages of 55 and 66 have no retirement savings. The irony of all of this is that we live, in my opinion, the wealthiest country in the world, but we always have money problems. Working hard all our lives, but retiring poor. Do so much to raise our kids just to see them finish college with a lot of debt, just like I did 18 years ago. Debt becomes a way of life. We normalize debt, and debt becomes okay. Why? Because your neighbor in your neighborhood also has a 30-year mortgage. Big deal. Your coworker, a cubicle away, also has student loans they've been paying on for years. Big deal. When you go out to hang out with your friends for happy hour and you all show up in your fancy cars, everyone is carrying a 6-year note. Big deal. And when you swipe your card to cover or foot the bill, everyone has credit card debt too. Big deal. Debt becomes a way of life. We become numb to this, but it doesn't have to be this way. It shouldn't. It was never meant to be this way. You see, a lack of financial education and understanding is the reason why the graph you see on the screen exists, and it is growing. It's getting worse with each passing year. Over the past 30 years, this graph represents the wealth distribution here in North America, in the United States. And you can see the purple sliver you barely notice on the screen. That little purple line at the bottom represents the income and the wealth commanded by the bottom 50%. Those who earn between 0 and about 55 to 60 grand a year in this country. Now, you couple it with those in the yellow bar, the proverbial middle class that earn somewhere between 60 and shy of 300,000. That combination represents the bottom 90%. And the bottom 90% in this country barely control 26% of the wealth. Now you contrast the 90 with the top green bars, the light and the dark green bars representing the top 10%, the elites in this country. And the top 10 control more than 76% of the wealth. You see, there's a problem here because if you look during the COVID years, 2020 and beyond, you can see how steep the graph is for the top not 10% versus how shallow or flatter it is for the bottom 90%. You see, why we exist is because we recognize wealth creation and wealth building is not taught in schools. If they taught wealth creation and wealth preservation and wealth transfer in schools, ladies and gentlemen, the 109 of us here on this call would be financially independent already because we tend to be very educated. The problem is this is taught at home. It's taught through grassroots movements like ours. So we are bringing ideas, strategies, solutions, and concepts that were once reserved for the wealthy. We're making them available to everyone. You know why? Because we believe that America, United States, and Canada together still remain the best places in the world to become financially secure and financially independent. If you look at the United States has approximately 22 million millionaires, commanding a whopping 39% of the global share of millionaires that exist in the world, right? If you couple that with Canada, you can see that together they make up more than China, Japan, Germany, UK, Italy, Spain combined. So this is a message today of hope. It's to inspire you. It's to wake you up. It's to shine a light on the reality of the importance and the need of financial education is not an option. It is a mandate at this point, because we hope that when we get through this message to you today, that you can no longer use ignorance as an excuse for not getting ahead. You can no longer say, I didn't know, no one told me. No, because this is a grassroots movement of individuals with a desire and a passion to make real, tangible change in people's lives. Because you see, we come from the statistic. I come from it. It's not our fault. You know, we don't have a budget. We don't have goals, right? We're influenced all around us that people we don't even know, providing unsolicited, piecemeal advice. We're trying to spend money buying things we may not really need, impressing people that we don't even know, right? And may not even like. You see, but we have to change. We have to wake up and realize now more than ever, we are never totally free until we are financially free, debt-free, and financially independent. And gone are the days, if you're like me, I had the notion that to get ahead and to become financially independent, I had to be some kind of blogger, influencer, athlete, actor, right, entertainer. That's actually why I pursued music, decades ago, pursued a career in the music industry. Very tough industry. But the truth is, those 22 million millionaires that exist here in North America and Canada, they built up their financial future. The majority of them are everyday folks like you and me. Through knowledge, planning, and consistent practices over time, they were able to lift themselves out from the poverty and the middle class, right, into the wealthy class. And how we do that and how we believe everyone can do that is through literacy and education. You can learn how to manage your money. You can understand how money works and make your money to work hard for you. This is not a time to think that the government, a politician, your boss, a bank, a broker, is going to help you get ahead, or is the reason why you're not getting ahead. Now more than ever, we are trying to let you know that there is a platform here that you can leverage to educate yourself, empower yourself, equip yourself with the prerequisite knowledge to make your money work hard for you. Because we have a fundamental belief. No one should be more interested in your financial future than you do. So when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to creating and getting ahead, we believe that you must take a holistic or comprehensive approach that starts with building a financial foundation from the ground up. A lot of people right now are self-proclaimed gurus on YouTube, on Instagram, on whatever social media platform, right? They're telling you how to become a millionaire overnight. Okay, the investor guy is only telling you about the investments they offer. The banker is only educating you about bank products. The insurance agent is only talking to you about insurance. They're not talking to each other. They're not taking a comprehensive look so that you see how all of these things are interrelated. We believe that like building a house, you must build it from the ground up. And financial products come and go, concepts don't change. Products are a means to this end that you're looking at on my screen. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's start with proper protection. You see, we must protect our income. We need to protect our income for those that we love and we care about the most, because they're the reason why we get up every day as the golden goose, going out every day to lay the golden eggs to provide for them. You have to ask yourself, if something happens to you, God forbid, how do you ensure that your family is still taken care of and is still continue to thrive and sustain and survive in your absence? What about becoming critically or chronically ill? The likelihood of becoming sick is actually higher than dying, the probability. Today, all around us, we hear people who seem perfectly healthy, all of a sudden are struck with cancer, organ failure, a stroke, right? And so on. Things that you wouldn't even wish on your worst enemy. Or good old age. You know, now that we're living longer thanks to medical technology, it's going to get to a point where we will need that help, that support to do the normal and daily activities of living. How do you ensure, how many days forward will you be able to survive before going bankrupt or becoming destitute and running out of money if you could no longer work today and you have no more income coming in? And worse, that your caretaker who's taking a family member taking care of you also loses their income. How long can you survive? This is why protecting our income for our loved ones, for our health and our assets for our future, these becomes very important. And when you attend our workshops that we conduct, right, you will see how we have a method for calculating how much protection you need and the different types of protection vehicles that are there and available for you. When it comes to managing debt, we believe you must take care of your debt or your debt will control you, right? In our workshops, you will learn about the debt roll-up method, right? How introducing $100 strategically to your debt, right? And contributing an extra $100 strategically, starting with your lowest debt balance all the way to the highest and rolling that up, you will see how that can shave off 12 and a half years off of a 30-year debt schedule. How you can save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, right, in interest that you may have otherwise would have had to pay. And how you now develop new sets of habits that serve you, that allow you now to redirect your money to work for you, to further build your future and to build a fortune, right? So emergency fund, right? Learning how, because it's not a question of if, it's a question of when an emergency would happen. Learning how to build up 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses to set aside in the event of another emergency. So proper protection, debt management, emergency fund, they're the right amounts that you must have in place to make sure that you've got a good foundation. And then investing with a long-term mindset. Most people tend to do all of this upside down, attempting to invest in things they don't understand, things that they think are sophisticated, taking advice from people who are not even licensed or credible to do so. They have no emergency fund, they have tons of debt, and all it takes is one emergency or disaster to happen, and the whole thing comes crumbling down. They dig in more debt just to get out of the situation. But imagine that you've laid a good foundation, you've got some peace of mind, and now you can focus on building your future. Just assume that you earn $60,000 a year today. And having attended one of our workshops, you learned about the importance and the power of setting aside 10% of your income, $6,000 a year or $500 a month over time. I want you to pay close attention to this because most of us have no problem putting away $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month towards our mortgage. We will get a $300,000 mortgage. Depending on your credit, be paying about $2,400, $2,500 a month, 30 grand a year for 30 years, 900,000, 3 times what we purchased the house for, and never complain, never ask any questions, and pay all that interest and wonder what happened. Meanwhile, we would not take a fraction of that money to put it aside to go to work for us. Did you know that $500 a month at 8% return could potentially get you $750,000? How many people do you know are 60 years old today and have $750,000 to their name? If you got a seemingly insignificant 2% more on this, you are in that coveted category of millionaires, and you become part of that statistic, adding to the 22 million millionaires here. Do you need 30 years to do this? Not necessarily. When you hear the rest of what we have to share with you about our opportunity, you can see that learning the right tactics, learning the right strategy, and compressing time through our platform can allow you to get here even quicker. You must understand taxes, how taxes work. Tax now, tax later, tax advantage. Because guess what? Accumulating $750,000, $1 million is not good enough. The question is, what do you get to keep? And if you're not paying attention to taxes, how you pay it, you may find that you don't get to keep most of that money. You at best keep some of that money. And that's why through our workshops, through our books, through our one-on-ones, you can learn, right, how taxes work and why you want to diversify and make sure that you add a tax advantage strategy to your portfolio so that you can get ahead. So planning today, ladies and gentlemen, requires a comprehensive approach, a holistic approach, because it's more than just retirement as people are reinventing themselves through age 65 and well after. You need to take a look at this dynamic, complex, multifaceted, story of ours of the human condition and this journey that we are on, and make sure, because if you don't plan, if you don't plan, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. Okay, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I believe that all of us here intend to win. So the idea is to move us from financial insecurity to financial security and then financial independence. We're excited that through our campaign, we have lots of really good people from all walks of life, over 83,000 members of ours who come from different backgrounds in over 300 financial centers coming together in solidarity to conduct these workshops. Anywhere that will entertain us, that will give us an audience, we want to get in there and teach them any one or all 7 of these workshops, from building savings and wealth, increasing cash flow and managing debt, preparing with proper protection, the relationship between your health and your wealth, understanding asset accumulation strategies, and fulfilling long-term goals. Ultimately, you need to know that what we do for families here is create, build, protect, and transfer wealth long-term. We are looking to impact that wealth gap that you saw. We want to lift more and more people and get them into the wealthy class. You see, we're a community that cares. I said 83,000. We're actually well over 85,000 members. Our closed Facebook community, on there, if you are fortunate to be invited to participate, you will hear so many different stories of people getting out of debt, building up their emergency fund, transitioning and becoming entrepreneurs, right? Getting their kid a free ride through college, and so many other great news. But I want you to hear directly from one of our campaigners, a couple that I've got a chance to know over the past couple of years now. They're incredible people hailing out of Savannah, Georgia. I don't want to take away from their story because I want you to hear directly from them. But it's testimony that, when you come here and you not only receive information, but you implement, right? You will inevitably put yourself on a path towards financial security and financial independence. So at this time, I want you to give a warm welcome to my friends, right, and business partners, Pamela and Kim Nguyen. Go ahead, guys, and share your thoughts.
Hi, can you hear us okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Pam. I'm Pamela Nguyen, and my husband here, Kim Nguyen. Just quickly, we wanted to share how this wonderful industry had changed our lives. 11 years ago, we actually got on board just because we want to learn our own finances. We were both from the medical field. I was a registered nurse by trade, and my husband, he's a pharmacist by trade. And, we realized that when, we needed to become our own money manager because, after all, over the years, we thought we were doing the right thing. We thought we were handling our finances correctly until, we came on board that we learned through the education platform. So, even my husband actually hired a financial advisor.
Sure. So hey guys, just want to share a little bit about our campaign and how we joined. Yeah, so it was true we did have a financial advisor before. But since coming into the campaign, I really understand that you don't need just a financial advisor, but you need a holistic approach of how you build your financial foundation through proper protection, debt management, emergency fund, and also investment. But what I do want to share with you is sometimes you have to know how to connect in order for you to learn. What I mean by that is if you want to learn the way, ask the person that traveled back. But what I want to say about that is we have a community that cares. Sometimes when we go to, learn from a financial advisor like we did, the difference is a lot of gap between our difference. So it was very difficult for us, even though we had college background, to understand and understand the concept. But being in the community, talking to people that were like us before, understand where we came from, and were able to teach us one-on-one of how we can better our finances along with enriching our life. So because of that, we came on board, and here we are 11 years later, and we want to grow our business by sharing with others. Because what we do is, I believe that we're a community that cares, and we teach as a grassroots version, and we have to be able to just connect with people. But when you're connecting with people, you're able to understand and grow more. And fast forward 11 years after this, we're here. And also, what I want to share is, life isn't just about saving and making money too. It's about actually experiencing life and experiencing traveling. But before, we never had a chance to travel much. We work, and maybe we go on vacation back to, her home country, the Philippines, or maybe in other states, but we didn't know how beautiful the world is. So we got a chance to travel, not only with us, but with our family and with our, a lot of our friends that we call our family now. So I want to have my wife just take it back to my wife so she can share about, the experiencing travel and life with us because of this community.
Yes. And, very grateful with this community and with this industry, not only the knowledge that we learned, but also the income that we earned, because we became an entrepreneur here. At first, it was just me. And then my husband actually also became full-time. So both of us retired our job as a nurse and as a pharmacist to be able to build our business here in the financial services industry. And it's the best thing that we could have ever done to us and to our family, right? And it saved us not only understanding how to build a proper foundation for ourselves. We were so underinsured back then. When we joined the business 11 years ago, we didn't have kids, and 11 years later, we have 2 children, and we were underinsured. We were in a lot of debt, student loans up to our neck, right? And we thought that just paying our bills on time is the right way to do it. But because of this industry, it saved us from that. But lastly, again, quality of life. I'm sure all of us here have dreams, right? And aspirations. I'm just proud to say that actually, because of this business, we were able to travel to, over 10, 15 countries in the past 11 years. And we would have never been able to do this if we worked full time as a nurse and as a pharmacist. We have to always look at, do we have PTO? Can we find somebody to replace us? Or can someone work for us, right? But here, every year we go to different countries through this platform, and we have just quality of life. And also, not only that, because we built our family here, our kids was able to also experience that. My daughter is 8, and is turning 9 this year, and she's been to so many countries, almost 10 countries, all paid vacation, and so not only that is my mother-in-law was also able to travel with us. So, it's just amazing to see that a business like this could change your life. So thank you for letting us share, Brother Mecca. And I encourage everyone here to actually take a look at this and change your life.
Incredible. That was awesome. Kim and Pam, I love what you just shared. I love traveling with you guys. I look forward to us again turning up in Istanbul and Turkey later on this year. And and that's the point. Some of what I want our audience here to know, that through our campaign, right, that you're able to make an impact. I want your mind to soar. I want you to know that the world is your oyster. Whether be it at people's homes of people that you know, to public libraries, to universities and schools. That lady there is a Harvard University professor who's part of our campaign and has brought this and made it part of the Harvard curriculum, to places of worship like I was at this morning presenting at a church, to small. The lady right there, right, is can you imagine the incredible vetting and clearances that have to happen to let us walk through those doors to present to the FBI, right? And then our grassroots movement and online. So I want you to know that everyone deserves not only financial education, but they deserve human dignity. And that's why we believe in giving right? Our community has given over $4 million to different causes that impact humanity, that demonstrate human dignity, right? So Charity Water happens to be one of them. The Rescue Mission, I think, is another one of them, not to count many of us who individually have our own causes and our own quest that we are pursuing. Because when you become financially literate and you're doing the right things with your money, it puts you in a position to help others, not forget where you came from and to give back. So Pam and Kim very eloquently demonstrated what's happened since COVID. You know, people now realize, now more than ever, that they need the freedom and the flexibility to work around their time, their commitment, and their schedule, and they need a lifestyle to go with it, right? And not work, because life is too short to just work for a living and work yourself to the ground and look back and have nothing to show for it. Now, people are looking for a life of purpose, right? To be part of something much, much bigger than themselves, you know? And I want you to know that through our campaign, you get a chance to etch your name in the history books. That's my firm belief, right? That we here, as part of a grassroots movement, right, are making the right choices. By changing our thinking, immersing ourselves in the right environment, we have a shot at changing our future and changing and impacting humanity. You see, on the worst case here, you come here, increase your knowledge, learn how to create multiple streams of income and make your money work for you on a flexible part-time schedule without giving up what you currently do, right? You can start learning about ownership, building a business in the largest industry in the world, right? You'll hear more about that in a few minutes, and become your own boss and have control, right? Enjoy the benefits. You saw Pam showcase those pictures. I was just getting goosebumps because I remember some of those locations that we've traveled together. Enjoy the benefits of traveling for yourself, for business, enjoying the write-offs and all of the perks that come from being your own boss, but also travel the world. You know, I heard that travel is the antidote to ignorance, and it's so true. When you get outside of your box and your comfort zone, because you have the money to support that lifestyle, you start to realize we're the same. We're very much alike. We want the same things, you know, and you start to appreciate humanity for what it really is, and a life of purpose, right? Building a strong financial foundation for other families, giving people the same platform of opportunity that you've been given to change people's lives. So as we transition this presentation, I want you to know that there is indeed a growing need for financial education and building a strong financial foundation for the future. The truth is that there are many people we will never be able to get to except through you listening to us right now. Because of the relationships, the influence, the associations, right, that you have, we want you to come here and become a part of our enterprise. We help many people like you, like me, start a new career on a flexible or part-time basis. And many of them, like me, like BC, like Pam, and many others on this call, have been able to go from part-time and been able to transition to become full-time entrepreneurs, building and scaling businesses all across the US and Canada. I want to ask you a question. Would you rather shrink your dreams to fit your income, or increase your income to build your dreams and to impact a lot of people? You know, to kind of shed some light on this before we transition this call, because I want you to the gentleman who we will bring up to close out is going to address 4 key questions that you must answer before you pursue a new venture. All right. In the interest of time, I will let him share with you what those 4 things are, because he will demonstrate them. But the person I want to bring up now, I consider him a big brother to me, right? I've known this gentleman for years. He has a heart of gold. He really cares for people, and he comes from an engineering background just like me. Maybe that's why I'm partial to him, right? But he's been able to come here with his wife and making an incredible impact, not just in his community, the Sierra Leonean community, but all across the US and Canada. So I want you to hear his story. Let me bring up this evening my big brother, Mr. Osman Carver. Go ahead, Osman.
Hey, Emeka, thank you very much. Pam and Kim, thank you for that amazing testimony. And Emeka, for that eloquence that you just showed to tell people about who we are and what we do. Myself, I've been in this organization for almost 20 years. October this year will be 20 years. Before came to this country, went to school, became an engineer, and then started practicing. And believe me, a very important one too. Today, when you are driving in the middle of the night, you run into a traffic light and the light changed for you, thank me. Because I remember I was part of those people who did that research, more or less. I was part of those people who put brain into a traffic light. However, I lack what this company has. So almost 20 years ago, a gentleman flew in from California to talk to me about this organization. He said a friend of his who joined the organization told him to talk to me. Little did I know, I came in just to learn about all the things that Emeka is so eloquent to talk about. And, 27 months later, it became a full-time obsession. And out of that, my wife was a banker working so hard. She left the house very early in the morning, working for one of the biggest banks, in the country. They call her, we've been to parties so far being number one in this, number one in that, except that we are number one. We are not number one in our finances. And, I saw her work so hard. She go there very early in the morning and then run back to go pick up our kids from the daycare, get home, no life. I'm out there hustling too. We never had time to sit together. I remember she worked for that bank for many years, over a decade. She only have time to go on one vacation with that bank. But full circle, when I came here, while I was working on this deal part-time, even though, yes, somebody will look at me and my wife and say, oh man, she's so lucky. Her husband is an engineer, he's a big-time banker. But let me tell you, most nights we're in each other's throat because I was in debt up to my neck. I came out of school, not only a $28,000 student loan, but credit card debt alone, $47,000. Thank God to this company. When I finally start thinking that I can make a career out of this, within 6 months of working part-time, I was able to earn enough income that's almost equivalent to what I earn as an engineer, and I was debt-free. So by the time 27 months later, I was zero. The only debt I have left is my student loan, and I just refuse to pay it for personal reasons. But because of this, all the promises I made to my wife, I met her in high school. I promised her, come, it's not going to be easy, but I'll give you a life that other people will envy. Your family member, each and every one of them will wish they have your kind of life. I promise her that promise. But let me tell you, when I was an engineer, I doubted that. Because when I came out of engineering school, that's the first lie. They told me they started you 65,000. The first company I interviewed offered me 37,000. Why? I don't have no experience. The one I said before is about 42,000 they offer me. And then after 1 year, they gave me a 10% raise. You do the math. When am I going to get to the average they told me when I was in college? All the promise I made to my wife. But because of that today, she's been to over 20 countries. April this year will make my wife 10 years. She don't have no boss. She wake up each morning. She want to come to the office. She comes. She don't want to come. She don't come. Oh, by the way, because of that reason, the same efficiency that she have working for the bank, she brought that here. My business went up 30%. And the rest is history. Today, we travel world, me, her, and our kids. I remember my kids now, they travel with their friends a couple of months ago. My daughter went to Las Vegas with her friend. And they were walking there. She called me, oh, this is MGM who been here. More or less, she was showboating. Nowhere a friend will take her that she has not been before. I remember last year, the whole family, we traveled through Qatar and then went to Thailand. I have the opportunity. I saw my son, him and his fellow 21-year-old at the time. They were mesmerized by the DJ crew. There was a young girl there, she looked skinny, Asian people, even though they thought it's that age group. So all of them were going crazy about her. Come to find out, the DJ crew, their brother was somebody who became friends the last time the company took us to Vietnam. They didn't come. I see my son took a picture with the DJ crew in Thailand, sitting there. He felt so proud. That is priceless. Emeka, I am so grateful for this opportunity. Every promise that I've ever made to my wife, I know very well based on my career as an engineer when I started, it would have been very difficult to fulfill that. But today, my wife don't have no boss. When we want to go anywhere, we don't call on nobody. She said, you know what, next week I want us to go. I'm like, okay. I thank God for this opportunity. So if anybody you are sitting here, you are already with us, I challenge you to bring your wife into the business. if you're already here as a guest, I challenge you to come on board with us. You have a choice to every day wake up every morning. No longer again will somebody put a thumb over your wife's head or your husband's head and tell them when to be with you and when not to be with you, and have the absolute financial independence and independence of thought. Thank you, Emeka. Yeah, you know what? To continue this, let me bring up one of our brother BC. I mean, I don't know whether this guy is in Canada or the US, but he will tell you his story. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Can everybody hear me okay?
Loud and clear, BC.
Wow. Man, Emeka, Pam, Kim, and then brother Osman. I can't thank you guys enough. You make my life easier, because the part that I just want to share right now is just to talk to people about what exactly do we do here? How can you be a part of what we do, and how can this change your life? Right? So can you all see my screen? Great. And just a little bit about myself before I go. My name is BC Ogunwale, as many of you guys, would have seen on the screen, for those who don't know me. And for those who know me, the name hasn't changed. It's still the same as BC Ogunwale. I joined this organization just a little over 5 years ago. And, I don't have so much history to tell like Brother Hosman or Emeka or Pam and Kim. But in the little time that I've been here, my life has changed significantly. And I was looking at the number of countries that I've traveled with this organization in that short period of time. Brothers and sisters, I looked at it. I've gone to 9 different countries with World Financial Group in that, in the last 18 months. And I'm asking myself this question. I remember myself and Osman, we were on the same plane to Qatar and then Thailand last year. But that's not why I want to talk to you today. I want to introduce our organization, World Financial Group, to you. And introducing World Financial Group to you today, I want to talk to you a little bit from some of our leaders who are, here talking about the diversity that we have and then the work that we want to do here. So please come with me and, listen to this video in the next couple of minutes, and then we can dive more into why we're here. But the reason why we're here is I want to be able to answer 4 major questions for you. Number 1, is there a market for what we do? I want you to write this down. Number 2, do we have the right solution for that market? If you came to work with us, number 3, can you make money here? And then number 4, is that something that you think you can do? And while I do that, I want to share with you the value that we had to people, just as, Mr. Emeka has already done. So please watch this with me.
One of WFG's strengths is that regardless of who you are, regardless of the background, you come in, you're gonna see someone like you winning.
WFG is a blessing for my community. For the average person that looks like me, that talks like me, to become financially independent, to really achieve the true American dream.
We come from all different walks of life, from all states, all provinces of Canada, from all age groups and all different types of educational backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds. We speak so many different types of languages. Basically, financial education attracts everybody.
Well, I believe that by doing a financial education, you bring value to the marketplace. And if I bring value to the marketplace, I don't have to sell to them.
What I love the most about WFG is the approach on how we do it. We go after, in my opinion, the people that really need our help. The mom and dad, the teacher that's making 40, 50, 60,000 a year, that in reality, a big financial institution is not gonna go and talk to her.
We have no requirements for you to come see us. It doesn't matter how many assets you have or how much debt you have. We will sit down with you and go with you step by step to help you reach your best financial foundation.
And the culture of this company make all the difference. They allow us to actually shine.
We're able to have complete control over our business. That is why we have seen so many women join this business, so many families are doing this business together.
So the real ceiling here is the only one you put yourself. If you have the drive and the intention and you do things right, the company is gonna support you 100%.
What I see as the potential for WFG is the sky is the limit.
Imagine a North America with 30 million educated families. What would that look like?
And imagine that day where every city, every zip code, every state, every major location, there's a WFG location, or an agent. Just the way you see a Starbucks in every corner, when people think financial services, financial education, middle America looking for help, they're gonna be thinking of WFG.
That is our vision for the future, and we know at WFG we can make that happen.
This is a business for yourself, but you're not by yourself.
With the new change in leadership in Transamerica and Aegon, it has been a breath of fresh air.
Me being in this business now 18 years, I've seen a huge impact just in the last 24 months.
They are making a tremendous effort to come meet us and get to know who we are.
It's been a successful story, not just for me, but for many of the people on the team.
This is an exciting time.
The exciting part of building a company like WFG is not just the end result, it's the journey. Is the personal growth.
WFG has taught me to become a better spouse, a better parent, a better daughter, because when you're in this business, it makes you think about everybody.
The secret weapon of WFG is the people that we brought into our business. It's the community, it's the environment that lets you see who you are and what you can become.
I think for me, three major things stands out from this video. Number one, the community that we have is unparalleled. The diversity that we have in that community, it's next to the none. And then the advice that, Penny Oil gave is that we bring value to people. And when you bring value to people, you don't have to sell to them. What we're doing with financial education is changing people's lives with our financial education industry. So I want to introduce to you who we are. Our parent company is called Aegon. Aegon is one of the largest financial services companies in the world. We are a subsidiary of Aegon with over 73,000 licensed agents as of today. One of the biggest financial services company industry today without no product of its own with just distributors here. Last 2022, not last year, we paid over $1.3 billion in commission to people working on this field. People like me, people like Osman, people like, Pamela and Emeka and the rest of us that are on this platform. Last year, 2023, we almost crossed $2 billion. We're waiting for the numbers to finish so that we can publish our numbers by the end of March 2024. But guess what? If you want to partake in this, you got to ask yourself this question. How can I be a part of this organization that is helping a lot of people here? If you're a woman on this call today, I have good news for you. We are number one when it comes to women registered representatives across the entire of the country when it comes to TFA. So you have a home here if you want to be a part of what we do here. But remember the questions that I asked at the beginning. The number one question is there a need for what we do? The answer is yes, there is. Massive need. Because a lot of people are growing older. And many people are saying they are not financially secure. Many people are scared of what the future will look like for them because retirement is knocking on them, on the door for them. But this is the massive opportunity, the need that we want to serve. There are over 68 million Gen Z people today. Many of these guys don't understand what it means to have, emergency fund or what is happening in their personal lives. We have about 72 million millennials. 7 out of every 10 of them do not know what type of investment or protection plan or how much of it do they really need. There are over 65 million Gen X. These are people who are closer to retirement, between 55 and 65 years old. More than half of them now do not have a penny saved yet for retirement. And we have baby boomers who have worked over time. They've invested things over time, and now they have assets and all of those things that they want to transfer to the next generation. And they're looking for financial professionals to work with. The good news for you, if you're a guest, that you are not a part of this organization yet, is that all of these millions of people across US and Canada, they need a financial professional. And those of us who are truly licensed financial professional, well, less than 1 million people in the entire country today. So you can see what the market looks like for you already. But you see, what I want to talk to you about is for every human being, there is something that we call human financial timelines that happens to all of us from cradle to grave. Between that time, so many things would happen. There was a time when people went to school. And as you've heard from so many of the leaders who have spoken here today, everybody's talked about one thing. They had student loan by the time they finished school. I didn't study in America. I went to school in United Kingdom. By the time I finished school, I had about 37,000 pounds of student loan myself too. So I know what that meant, to go to school and take yourself through school with student loan. People used to have jobs that used to pay them pensions. We don't see that anymore. Some organizations are not even contributing to the normal 401k or RRSP for those of, the guys in Canada. Many people have to figure out what their retirement is going to be like for themselves. People are getting married, raising families. I'm a parent myself. I have 2 kids. Food, clothing, shelter, and everything like that is something that we have to deal with because there's increasing responsibilities with the families that you raise. Many people in Canada today, over 55% of people are working from one paycheck to another paycheck. The story in the US is even worse, about 64% in America. And because of that, many people are relying on credit card and other form of OPMs, other people's money, to be able to fund their lifestyle. You want to buy a vehicle, you have to buy it on auto loan. And when we want to buy our homes, we need to use mortgages to be able to do that. Between student loan, mortgages, car loan, and credit card or line of credit or what have you, debt has become a way of life for so many people across US and Canada. And this is the life that many people continue until a time when retirement begins to set in. But the challenge with that is this: for many people who have responsibilities like family and people that are dependent on them, what if you die prematurely? We talk about proper protection because people need to be able to leave something behind for the people that they are leaving behind. What if we get sick? We talk about, how do we properly protect ourselves so that we can have what we call dignity to take care of things for ourselves. We talk to people about long-term care, critical illness, terminal illness, chronic illness, and all of that. I don't pray for people to die young. I don't pray for people to get sick. But if we don't die and we don't get sick, there's only one option that is left. We have to keep living. And that comes with its own, troubles as well. Because if we don't have enough money to use for the rest of our lives when we cannot work as much as we used to do, it's going to be a miserable life. It doesn't matter whether it's a great life because of good health or it's a hard life because of medical challenges. It doesn't matter whether it's a very long life or a short life. Each and every one of us is going to pass away at some point in time. And when we pass away, there is something that is called a estate process that ensues, and then that takes over everything for each and every one of us. The question to ask ourselves is this: when you leave, however long it is, are you going to leave blessings or burdens for the people that you're going to leave behind? The second question is, if you were to get sick, are you going to have prepared for yourself, or you're going to be a burden on other people because they have to now take care of you? So it's all about each and every one of us are going to go through all of these phases in life. It is not about if, it is a matter of when. We help people to prepare for this so that they can begin to take care of things for themselves. The business platform that we represent is summarized in this particular stuff. There is a big growing need for financial education, and we see an emerging financial education industry. Just from that presentation that Emeka made, just only about 9% of people in America and Canada today have figured out their personal finances because of where they are. You see, the big financial institutions will not go and talk to people in the 90%, but they also need somebody to advocate for them. So our organization, World System Builder and World Financial Group, we are bringing financial education as value to people so that they can begin to figure out what they need to do with their personal finances. And that's why we teach all of these different classes with our financial literacy campaign workshops. We talk to people about how to build their cash flow, do debt management, have proper protection, asset management, asset accumulation, funds, emergency fund, estate preservation. Why? Because people need to build solid financial foundation. As you must have heard Alicia, one of our leaders in that video, said, it doesn't matter how much debt you have or how many assets you have. If you sit down with us, we will work with you so that you can get your own destination financial foundation. That is the work we do here. We are not a financial institution that does just only investment or just insurance, because the guys who are doing insurance will focus on insurance. The guys who are doing investment will focus on investment. The banks will focus on, the banking product. But as an organization, we have partnership with investment companies, with the banks, and with the insurance company so that we can give our consumers the freedom of choice. Because when people learn, they want to implement. And so we can give them an array of products across multiple providers so that they can leverage our strength in selection to be informed consumers. We have partnership across US and Canada with multiple organizations. So if you talk about insurance, we have loads of them in there. You talk about 401k, annuities, mutual funds, talk about 529, talk about long-term care solution, estate planning, Medicare supplement, and disability. We have an array of organizations, top-rated companies that you already know. You see their adverts on the TV, on the billboards, on even hear them on the radios. The same thing happens in Canada. So those of us who are on this platform, and that's what I'm inviting many of you guys who are guests here to do. Come and work with us. We're inviting you to come and join our financial literacy campaign so that you can get yourself here. First and foremost, think about you. What am I going to do for myself? How can I change the situation of my family? Get the knowledge that you need. Get yourself properly educated here, licensed and appointed as an agent that can work here, and begin to educate more people and provide solutions based on their specific needs. And then you will get rewarded. That explains, number one, the need is the statistics that I showed you before. The second thing is, what do we have for those people? We have our financial education, and then when people want to implement, we have all of these different product providers that they can work with across both the countries of US and Canada. But the next question is, can we make money here? The answer is yes, we can make a lot of money if you want to make a lot of money here. But let me tell you one of the things that I like most about what we do. We make money, and we're very proud to make money, but it's not at the expense of the people that we're working with. It is at the fact that we're contributing to the advancement of those people. For us, the mission is to help people, not the commission that we get. And that is the focus of our financial education and giving back to people with our financial education and every other thing that we give back to people. So how do we make money? There are 4 ways you can build income here. You can decide that you want to work by yourself. I don't like that, but it's an option for you if you want to be a salesperson here. Just, I want to sell, and that's all. But the danger with that is this: the day you don't feel well, you can't come to the office, your shop is not open, nobody can buy anything from you. The day you have an emergency that you have to deal with, whether as a family or health-wise, you cannot do anything, nobody's going to be able to help you with your business. And that's why we talk to people about, let us come together and begin to form an agency. What does that look like? Somebody saw me and say, hey, I want to invite you to our financial education program. How about you come and learn, estate planning? That was the first workshop that I went to. I loved it. I said, when is the next one? Oh, next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about, building savings and wealth. Oh, I want to learn how to build savings and wealth. And I went the second time. Before I know what, by the time I went to the third class, I was ready to join the organization after we finished preparing with proper protection, So I joined this group of people. And guess what? They trained me and everything that I need to know. I got myself licensed. Everything that I need to know, they trained me. So the days when they are not available, they know I can take care of their clients for them. The day that I'm not available, I know they can take care of my client for me. Why? Agency allows you to be able to compound your effort, your reach, and your time, working with multiple people across different parts of the country and even across the country in the US or in Canada, depending on where you find yourself. I started out of Canada, but I have a big opportunity to build businesses in the US now. The other thing to look at is this. Look at an expansion model that we have here. In the real world, they call it franchise model. We call it expansion. So McDonald's, Starbucks, Burger King, Walmart, H-E-B, Target, they give franchises to people all across the entire of the country and across the entire of different parts of the world for them to be able to operate on the name of maybe McDonald's or Starbucks and the rest of them. You know what happens? As long as those outlets are open and they're doing businesses, the home office of McDonald's in Chicago will make money out of it. How about you think about this today? You are in the US. I don't know where exactly you're located, but you can think about multiple cities across the entire of the US. 50 states in the US and 9 provinces and, 4 additional territories in Canada where you can do this business. For every outlet that you open, think about who do you know in Tennessee? Who do you know in Memphis? Who do you know in Nebraska? Who do you know in Minnesota? Who do you know in Alberta, Canada? Who do you know in Vancouver? Who do you know in Halifax? And then begin to think about how can I give this expansion into those places? And then you begin to build a bigger organization for yourself. And then lastly, you can begin to earn bonuses. What I tell people when it comes to building multiple sources of income is do not rely on one source because it has proven to be unsustainable. Given what has happened with COVID in the last 3.5 years that we went through that, we can now see clearly there's nothing like job security out there anymore. Here, you can learn how to earn income the right way by creating multiple streams of income for yourself, working with different people across different parts of the US and also in Canada. As an organization, we have what is called a proven track record. Like I said, we have over 73,000 licensed agents working on the platform today. We have top-rated companies that we're working with. The strength is in the numbers for us. As an organization, World Financial Group is now a multi-billion-dollar platform. We are growing really very fast as an organization. We are now a $1 billion enterprise. We are operating in a $1 trillion industry that is backed by a multi-billion-dollar organization that is allowing each and every one of us who are on this platform to build businesses that can deliver 6 to multiple 7 figures for us on an annual basis. Like every other organization, when you join an organization, you join at an entry-level position, most times, as a new person. Here too, we start as a training agent. The goal is for you to become a trainer, but you have to go to training first, and that's why we call it a training agent. A training agent is like an entry-level person. When you start here, that's where you start from. But in less than 30 to 60 days, maximum 90 days, we expect you to move very fast to become an agent, which is equivalent of a supervisor. By the time you are clocking 150 days in this organization, we expect you to become a marketing director, which is what is an equivalent of a manager out there. In less than a year, we expect you to become a senior marketing director, which is equivalent of a senior manager. You can then become a full-time broker or an agency owner, preparing for yourself to become a 6-figure income earner in this business. And how do we make that kind of assertion? Is because we have looked at different rooms that we've created over the years. You know, one of our leaders, Ed Milet, was talking about looking at rooms. Everybody that is in the 10-year room in World Financial Group is a solid 7-figure income earner. Anybody that is in that room, 10-year room, what does that 10-year room mean? If you can put 10 years of your life into building something here, rest assured, you will be somebody who makes serious 6-figure income earner here. Anybody that is in the 20-year room in WFG is a multi-million-dollar income earner on an annual basis. And then don't even want to start with the people in the 30-year room because we now have that room now. But as an organization, on our website, we put it there. What is the average earning of our agents? The tier 1 is what I call the entry-level tier. Anybody that can stay up to 3 years here, that person is a new person. We expect them to learn. While they are learning, we expect to be earning some income as well while they're building their capacity. That is the beauty of the industry that we are in. While you are learning, the industry is so generous, you can still be earning some income. In less than 3 years of being here, if you do the work the way you're supposed to do it, you should be making 6-figure income on an annual basis, even as a part-time person on the platform. I know this because I have done it. When you cross the tier 2, 4 to 7 years, the minimum we expect is that by now you would have built an organization of people around you, train other people to become proficient in this business. And by the time you are clocking your 7th year, we expect you nothing less than $250,000 on an annual basis should be what your income will be. And by the time you get into the tier 3, by this stage, which is 8 years and above, how do we look at this? You should be a professional at that time. Malcolm Gladwell, in his book, The Outliers, said something around the fact that when people want to know who are the people that are, professionals in whatever it is that they do, you must have dedicated at least 10,000 hours to whatever it is that you're doing. If you contribute 4 hours every day to this business, divide 10,000 by 4 hours, that's equivalent of about 7 years. We expect you to become a professional by the time you cross into tier 3 in this business. And by that time, you should have built a big enough organization that can position you to make at least $1 million on an annual basis. Nothing less than $500,000 on an annual basis is what we expect somebody in tier 3 to be making. The question is this: how can I be a part of what you do? Some people would not be able to do what we do because we don't expect everybody to be able to do it. But we're saying that everybody needs to know about their finances. Come and learn about our financial education so that you can do some things for yourself. We can help you to understand what your financial strategy will be on a complementary, level. And then if there's any gap that we see, you can become a client with us here. But what we are asking you to do is, we don't want you to leave what it is that you're doing. Like you heard Emeka, he started when he was an engineer, and then he transitioned becoming full-time. Like you heard Pamela, she was a registered nurse. Like you heard Kim, he used to be a pharmacist. Like you heard, Osman, he used to be an engineer. I used to be in the financial services and I transitioned here full-time. I started out as a medical person as well. But guess what, guys? We have medical doctors on this platform, lawyers, engineers, name it, college dropout, people who didn't even go to school at all, and they're getting successful here. What you have to do is come here to learn and get your proper licenses and begin to do things on your own schedule. Or you could be somebody like me, like Emeka and Osman, who are now full-time here and doing this thing full-time. So I want you to remember the 4 questions that I asked at the beginning. Is there a market for what we do? I have shown you the statistics of that market. Do we have the solution? Our financial education is the solution for that market. And then also the implementation of planning tools, working with those financial institutions that we have as our partners. Number 3 is there money to be made? I've shown you how we make money and what is the potential of income that you can make here. And then lastly, can you be a part of what we do? This is how you can be a part of what we do. I hope that you can clearly see the answers to those questions now, because I always say this: do not underestimate the power of additional income. Because I come to learn that the difference between the life that we truly desire and the one that we live today is the opportunity to make, a couple of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, or even a few $100s on a monthly basis, to be able to pay off our debt, to be able to put saving aside for our children's education, to be able to have emergency fund and have a better kind of life that you can live. What do you think $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 extra can do for you? For me, it can make a world of difference. I want you to take a second to think about that and begin to ask yourself this question: where do I start out? That is for you to answer. When people are asking this question, so how do we become a part of this? I want to first and foremost go into something that is fundamental out there. Say you want to start a McDonald's franchise, for example. You need close to $1 million to be able to do that. You want to set up a salon where you can, maybe a beauty salon or nail salon or whatever it is. You need solid 6-figure investment for you to be able to put into that kind of stuff. Say you want to be able to start maybe a gas station and all of that. I have a few people who are my friends who have that. Multiple 7-figure investment. Let's say you want to start small, makeup artists, photography and all of that. You still need to put a couple of thousands of dollars into that things because you need to buy your gears and the things that you need to work with. But the opportunity that World Financial Group gives you is, how can you start business on a small scale and grow it into the future? Number 1, you can start small. In America, it costs you $125 to join. In Canada, it's $150. Because we are licensed financial professional, for every state or province that you operate in, you have to get licensed. So there's pre-licensing education that you need to go through, and then you have to pay the state or the provincial government exam fee for you to be able to write your exam. Just like medical doctors or lawyers or pharmacists or engineers have licenses, we also have licenses. And we need to protect those licenses with what is called error and omission for us. That is what we use to protect that license. You pay for that and you have platform fees that allows you to have access to our turnkey platform that you just plug in and play. And as I summarize here, what is our platform? People ask me, we are in the financial services industry, a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Our organization is called World Financial Group. And then lastly, you as somebody who is coming to campaign for financial education here, you can build a multi-million-dollar income here. You see, people ask me, BC, what do you guys sell? We don't own any product because our own product is financial education. That is what we give people to empower them, and we explain different financial concepts to people. So how do you guys make money? When people go through our financial education program, they begin to see gaps in their own financial strategies and they want to implement. We refer them to the right financial institutions to work with. And when they do that, because of the licenses that we have and the teams that we've built around ourselves, we can be able to earn income from there. And lastly, as I close, what is important to you? Somebody invited you to come and listen to this today. What is important to you? Is additional income important to you? On a flexible or part-time schedule, you can find that here if that's what is important to you. If you think about, oh, I need to properly protect myself and my family, we can help you with that here. If you think about, oh, I have young children that needs to go to school in the future, I'm thinking about college or university, we can help you with that kind of planning. You have money, you're thinking about how do I invest this? How do I grow my money? We can help you with that here. God forbid I get sick, disabled, or have a long-term illness. How do I do that? We can help you to take care of that here by giving you peace of mind by proper planning. You have built asset and wealth over time. We can help you to be able to put all of these things in a place where you can preserve and transfer your wealth in a very efficient and effective manner. So what is important to you? There's no wrong or right answer to that question, because at the end of the day, no one should be more concerned about your financial future more than you yourself. And I can assure you of this. Your future is not in the hands of the government of the country where you live, or the state where you live, or the employer that you work with, or the union that you probably are working with, or your broker, or even your bank. Everybody's future is in his or her hands. And that is what we want to tell you, that whichever way you decide to go, whatever it is that you decide to do, we can assure you on this platform, World Financial Group and World System Builder, we can serve you and your family accordingly. And that's why today somebody has invited you to come and listen to what we talk about here so that you can have an idea, it's all about. As I close, I want to say this to you. I'm spotlighting myself so you can see me properly. Everybody's future is in his own hands. The information you have listened to today is going to be useless at the end of the day if you don't act on it. When you get a knowledge that is shared with you, the best thing that can happen to you is to share it and then begin to implement immediately. So today, I want you to get back with the person that invited you here tonight and ask, this is a wonderful information that you have shared with me. What is the next step? How do we go from here? We want to invite you to come and work with us on this platform on our financial literacy campaign. And from there, you can begin to figure out what is going to happen to you and your family as you move forward. Do not sleep on this, because at the end of the day, an information that is not used is useless. And whatever you don't use, you would always lose it. Anything you think of that you don't use, eventually you're going to use it. Tonight, on behalf of my friends, Emeka Onuba, Kim Wen, Pamela Wen, and my dear brother Osman Kago, and the entire of our community, the GNC Good News crew, and the entire World System Builder, we want to say we appreciate your time sitting down with us this evening. You have so many things that you could have been doing today, but you decided to share that evening with us. We don't take it for granted. But what would make it more interesting and more important for us as a group of people is you begin to take action on the things that we've shared with you tonight. Thank you and have a good night.